Hi, this is Jen Schaefer. Thank you for joining me as I continue on with my planner series. This week I'm going to use my Jax and Pepper header stickers. My birthday is this week, so I wanted to go with a fun, colorful theme, so I picked out a colorful rainbow of colors from my remaining stickers. I decided to place the Today stickers first, so I could confirm how I like the colors going together. Then I went in with the To-Do and Little Things section, as well as the heart checklists. I ended up going with red, orange, yellow, a teal green, blue, purple, and gray. I love how all of these colors go together, and it's going to give the page a perfect birthday feel I was going for. To continue with the colorful feel, I picked out several washi tapes that match the sticker colors pretty closely to mark my steps section. I could have gone with a single stripe along the bottom, but it's my birthday week and I wanted to go with something new. So I made a border for each individual day's section. The colors don't match stickers perfectly, but you don't really notice when you look at the layout as a whole, so I think it works out well. For the next week's section, I decided to use one of the banner stickers from the Erin Condren, like I normally do. I chose purple this week because I think it works well with the colors already in the planner if I continue in rainbow order. I wrote in next week with my Signa white gel pen, then started adding the events for the week. This week is a bit weird because we're on vacation all week. I know there are some vague plans like going on a trolley tour and a zoo, but I have no idea which days we will be doing which, so I'm pretty much leaving everything blank. This week, I'm going to be using several Lawn Fawn stamp sets. I used the balloon from Party Animals, the cake and slice of cake from year 3, and the piñata from year 7. I love how most of the Lawn Fawn stamps are made using very similar designs, so you can mix and match stamps and get a unified look. For my coloring, I'm going to be using my Prismacolor Colored pencils. I want a rainbow of colors, so I start with my piñata, making sure it ends up with a wide variety of colors. I start out by adding a single color for each color palette, and trying to add dimension with multiple layers for shadow, but end up deciding that I want a little more depth. So, I use the main color, then add black or brown to deepen the color, and I like that a lot more. The piñata ends up being red, orange, yellow, blue, and green. Then I use purple for the icing on my cake to keep as much variety of colors as possible. For the balloons, I end up making 2 balloons for each color. This gives me plenty of variety for my planner, though you could easily fit in more if you wanted to. I like projects like this because there's tons of coloring, but it's also fairly repetitive. I end up coloring a bit on camera, then moved to my front room and finished up while watching a movie. When I had settled on all the colors and was happy with the way they looked, I cut them out. This is another part of the project that's simple and can easily be done while watching a movie or as you have time between daily tasks. My next step was to lay out all of the stickers I had cut out. I knew I wanted to fill in the week with balloons and keep the cakes and piñata towards the sidebar because they fill in a lot of space. I ended up with the piñata sitting on top of my next week's section because he just fills in that space so perfectly. For the larger sidebar section, I added in the cakes towards the bottom, then had a trio of balloons above the full cake. I went with a variety of colors, avoiding purple and yellow because those are the colors of the cake and are already represented in this section. Then I started placing the rest of the balloons. I kept several things in mind when deciding placement. The first was that this is a pretty weird week in which I don't know any of the concrete plans, so I want the balloons to take up as little open space as possible, especially around the little things section, because I have been filling this whole box with memories for the day, and I'm sure I'll have a lot to write on vacation. I also want these balloons pretty evenly distributed around the layout. My next focus is on color. I don't want a balloon to overlap a header sticker with the same color when I can help it. This ends up with me swapping a few stickers, but I think the variety is worth it. When I was happy with my placement, I started sticking the stickers down. Because I want to anchor the balloons to the page, I added strings to each of them. For the balloons behind the cake, I thought it would be cute to make them look like they are helping the larger cake float. So, I used a pencil to note the location of the balloon bases as well as the spot behind the cake. When I was happy with the locations, I drew in the strings of the balloons with a Sharpie fine tip marker. Then I could add the balloon and cake stickers where they belong. I love the look of several of the balloons layered because it adds a more three-dimensional look to the page. Next, I added the steps section because I forgot to add it in earlier and wanted to make sure I didn't put any balloons in the wrong place. Then I was able to stick down the balloons. With them in place, I used my Signo black gel pen to add the strings to the balloons. I wanted to make them look like they were flying through the air rather than attaching them to a particular point, so I just added a wavy line beneath each of them. I also decided to add a highlight mark to each balloon to give it a little extra dimension. Because the shading on each balloon was in the lower left, I had the highlight in the upper right, which is just a single line and a dot with my white gel pen. My work in the planner was almost done at this point. I decided to add a few note items to the week. Most notably, we are 28 weeks this week, which is very exciting. It also happens to be my father-in-law's birthday as well as mine this week, so I wanted to be sure those were included. I intend to bring my planner dot stickers with me this week, so that I can add in events as the week progresses and don't miss anything. That completes my planner for this week. I decided to take a picture of my planner when we got home as well, so you could see how this layout worked perfectly for me to have plenty of space to handle a busy week without a lot of pre-planning. Thank you so much for watching my video, and I hope you enjoyed my latest planner episode. Be sure to check the description for further details, and I hope to see you again next time.